Peace and love, and welcome to Mama Africa's house. We'll be right back after this quick intro.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. We have a treat for you today. So, in the house with us today, we have Mama Kenisha with Adorned with Awareness. Let's welcome her to the stage, y'all. Peace and love, Mama. How you feeling this morning?
Very, very good. I feel excellent. Thank you.
I mean, you looking good. That's what I can say. You woke up this morning shining. Yes, ma'am. You was looking good.
So do you.
You know, I did a little one too.
You do look delightful.
Thank you, Mama. Okay, so I know that you have so many things. I didn't even know all of this stuff about you until you sent me all of this. You know, we've been knowing each other for a long, long time. And I'm like, okay, we got patience and just a little quick because I want to know myself. What is a certified feminine power coach?
So it is a system of archetypes. And when you think about feminine energy, a lot of times we kind of think of one way of being, whether it's like maybe the mother energy, people kind of typically think about that. But we really have about 4 type of energies. And one of them is more of an androgynous type of energy. It's just feminine leaning. But I coach women on knowing how to oscillate between the different energies and how to make that energy that they're naturally more engaged with compatible with what their goals are.
Okay, because I was like, I didn't even know she had that. I need to get you for some coaching. Now, how does that work? Do you accept clients?
You know, after being on a hiatus kind of with the new baby, I'm slowly rolling back into having coaching clients because, you know, you have to really set time aside and energy aside to carry a woman through their goal orientation. So right now, I'm doing some public facing free workshops. So
Okay.
I'm really focused on that. And so by the summer, I'll open up my books for coaching.
Okay, make sure you put me down now.
Okay.
I want to experience some of that. And just talking about some of the things that you have been doing. Tell us a little bit more about who Mama Kenisha is.
That's a good one. Well, I am a person who loves to bring people together. I love to connect people, and I love having intentional meetings. So that's a big core part of my life. Like even as a young person, people who know me, and I do happen to know many people that I've known as a child, and they all could say like, you've always been like this. And so that's a big core part of me, and just wanting it's called compersion, when you can be in love with the fact that people you love are in love with other people. And I really like to center art with having something tangible to do. So other than trying to create spaces, safe spaces, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a community organizer, or more so a community trainer. So I do some trainings where you learn about how to be a first responder in the community with what you have. So I've done a lot of work in that regards with an organization called Medics, near and dear to my heart. And so right now, I just had a birthday, and I'm really trying to, you know, see myself out in the world. Like doing something like this is really big for me because I'm usually not the one to get in front of a camera.
Man, look, Mama Kenisha, you have been doing many things for many years. First, let me also say thank you for all you've done for our community. Even doing that while being a mother, while being a wife, all of these things. I've always saw you valuing sisterhood, motherhood, and supporting those things. And you just mentioned about creating safe spaces. And I do feel like that's always been a big part of what you do. And I appreciate you for that. So I know you were talking about safe spaces. How do you work within safe spaces? And you just want to talk a little bit about what a safe space means to you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I put a lot of time in training on trying to make sure I had skills to handle creating spaces that are safe. And I say that really because many times we gather and we're dealing with a lot, you know, on wellness or just big, big changes in life. And it takes a lot to know how to, what I would say, open somebody up and also like close them. And that's one thing I found doing sister circles particularly is when we get together, women are so powerful. And we also come with a lot from our womb energy. And that is a lot of energy to hold. And so when I originally started doing sister circles, I was more of an observer or more of just like an organizer. Um, I wanted to make waist beads because I needed a tool that was tangible. My daughter
Now
was
wait. Now you're going a little bit ahead of us. Let's start
okay.
there
Back
so
up.
we don't get
So
mixed up. That's okay. No, you good. So we did have I put up here, owner of Adorned Awareness. What is Adorned Awareness?
Adorned with Awareness is the like the umbrella company for the different ways that I interact with the public and even private clients. So waistwear is a subcategory of Adorned with Awareness, and it specifically deals with waist beads. And then I do work with youth and families and community where we use beads a lot of times, but also all mediums of art to create different, we create things, but really the intention is to be together. So Adorn with Awareness, that name is really just to remind us that not only can you adorn yourself with like jewelry and things physically beautiful, your hair, your clothing, but you also have to carry it inside. You also have to carry the beauty of yourself inside. So the awareness part comes from just a consciousness of, you know, taking care of yourself and also being able to take care of your community by way of receiving care from your community. So that's a big part of my philosophy, so to speak. Is like taking care of yourself, but also letting people take care of you. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt like when I was originally into this space, it was a lot of self-healing, the mother wound, the father wound, all the things. And it just hit me one day like self-love is kind of a misnomer. You've heard me talk about this. Like I was really into that, like, oh, you can't pour from an empty cup. But I was missing the other part, which is that you can only love yourself to an extent. Especially as women, we have to be poured into. And that's just a big part of the awareness that I was saying. Like I ran across a lot of women who were in silos and they were doing fine, financially fine, or, their mental health was fine, but they were alone or they were by themselves or they were typically alone. And so they found themselves still feeling a void. And, just sharing that transparency with me, I started to think like, yeah, we really you can't self-love yourself enough. You need to open up and be in receivership. So
Yeah.
sometimes, well, the
I
community don't
think
show
that's
up.
a good thing that I've learned with your sister circles, because a lot of times we think about, when it's loving, we think about it has to be with a partner, but it's many
Mhm.
ways that we can surround ourselves with people in community and safe spaces and loving spaces and around people that is intentional about loving on you and making sure that you feel loved. We got Grand Rising Adorned with Awareness in Mama Africa. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Ashe. Thank you, Mama. Thank you,
Mhm.
Mama. Now I do remember years ago, come into a waist bead circle.
Mm-hmm.
I made my first pair of waist beads with you, Mama, probably like 2016. So you've been doing this work for a long, long time. Those waist beads I kept with me for a long time. They were crystals. You know, when you come and you do your circles, it's not just about making waist beads. It's not just about adorning yourself, but it's about, like you were saying, the things that happen on the inside. You know, having those conversations, being in circles of women. I don't want to talk too much about what it is because I do want you to explain it more. But just you know, when people think about waist beads, they just think about these, you know, the jewelry that you put on your waist and the beads, you know, for fashion and things of that nature. Could you explain to us a little bit more about the sacredness of waist beads and what waist beads mean to you? You don't have to try to make it sound good for everybody or what people think it means, but just for you personally, what does waist means and what does waist beads, how do they tie into Adorned with Awareness?
Mm-hmm. This is so good because when I had a young daughter, she was like 12, 13, and I really wanted her to um, embrace, you know, the transition from being a young person to being like a teenager. And I wanted to have something to give her, you know, and I'm looking for like some sort of rite of passage or some sort of something that I can give her. And I found waist beads, but they were really expensive, the ones that I wanted, way out of my price range at the time. And then I thought, you know I can't be the only person that wants to make these. So I started reaching out to people in my community and organized monthly circles where we're coming together. And initially, like I was saying, women were just coming with their things. A lot of women had already had waist beads, or they were jewelry makers or what have you. And I had some stuff because at the time, my daughter was actually a jewelry maker. So we happened to have stuff to make jewelry. So it was like the power in us coming together that really made me want to continue, like, to make sure that we had space to do this, because the women that were I was seated at so many different women from so many different places in their life, and even the world. People would come from all over. Visitors would come with the people that they were with, and I learned so much. I learned a lot about the history of waist beads from like the origins. Originally, you know, in Africa. I researched different people all over the world who, you know, did carry adornment around their waist and had some intention around it. But one thing that stood out for me was when people sometimes, there was like a taboo, you know, there was like a, you don't know what that is, you know, why are you wearing that? And I'm like, we can make our own reasons why. Because what I realized was that people in Africa, they were them for many different reasons. Like in the same area, they could be wearing them for different reasons. And there are people in Africa who don't think that they're suitable to wear. So it empowered me to like give people a voice. So on my websites and all the things I've ever done, I've never said, okay, yellow means peace and happiness and purple means higher learning. Like, no, I always let the woman lead. I always wanted to hear her say, you know what, my grandmother's favorite color is yellow. I'm a little sad right now. I'm going to use yellow. And I'm like, bam, did you know citrine also, you know what I mean? So it's like, when I could tell a woman that she is the medicine woman for her own womb, when I could show her that after she tells me, like, that just is exhilarating versus me telling her, wear these waist beads for this reason, or here's a prescription for you. No, you know your medicine, you know what you need. And even if you don't know, once you are open to receiving, like, you know, some tools, then you're like, okay, I'm more on track than I thought I was. And so that's a really big power for me. It's like to make the waist beads each individual woman's story. And it's so, I could go on and on about stories, but one thing I will say is that what I also found very empowering is when a woman would come and be like, yeah, I'm going to Miami. My swimsuit is yellow and green. Like, can you give me some waist beads that match my swimsuit? And I'm like, yes, that is just as powerful as somebody who like, oh, I'm really intentional. I'm really trying to, you know, create a mate, or, you know, whatever they wanted that's real deep. I think looking beautiful is just as deep and just as powerful. And so, yeah. I think,
and that goes right into the alignment with self-love, you know, yourself, you know. I think a lot of times people come in here and they're like, you know, what this waist bead mean, or what that waist bead mean, you know, how do I wear this, and what do I do with this, and what do I do with that? And a lot of times I feel like, especially African Americans here, and I'm just strictly speaking about African Americans because they're my people, I love us. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we feel like we have to do it this certain type of way to make it right, you know, or well, if it ain't this, then it's not that, or what this, you know, and it's like it started somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Everything started somewhere. So if you started something, you started something. And if you want to put your intentions into these waist beads, it's whatever your intentions. You can put intentions into anything, you know. So I do you know, think that I believe I might have learned about waist beads from you my first time. Ever finding out what waist beads were. And they definitely gave me a sense of awareness to myself. When I would wear them the first time, it was, you know, pinching my little hairs, but it made me intentional about the intentions I put into those waist beads.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me mindful of that. Every little pinch of hair, it was like, okay,
People don't talk
being
about them
very
hair
intentional, and
pictures.
it made me bring my attention to what I was trying to draw awareness to, or you know, to put my energy into. So that was very powerful at that time. Was just, you know, feeling myself, feeling beautiful. You know, it didn't have to be showing. You know, I'm a big girl, so I ain't wearing no belly tops, no crop tops. You know, now some of us do, and that's okay for you. But you know, it made me feel beautiful on the inside, and
Mm-hmm.
like something for me. It wasn't for anybody else. You know, it was my adornment. You know, and I never found
Mm-hmm.
adornments. You know, till we talking about adornments today. But the I had a picture up here about this event. Now, what was happening in this event right here?
This was so powerful. I wish I could tag her or get this wonderful lady in the middle, Mama Jessica. She's also a circle keeper and a womb wellness practitioner. We collaborated on a series of circles, and I brought the beads and that part of the circle, and she brought like a lot of other modality around healing the womb. And so we were all sitting in this wonderful location on 45th and King Drive, Space Share Lab. The bead table you can see is off to the back. So before we got to beading, we all sat in our circle, and she was giving us oil. Oh, she was giving us oil that she had like put a lot of intention in, and we used it to rub our wherever you want it, right? So it was just so powerful because all the women, you can kind of look in and you can see how the women are like looking at themselves or like rubbing their hands together. And so we spent a considerable time, you know, a long time, just rubbing our arms, rubbing our hands, you know, giving ourselves self hugs. And so that's the scene there, and it was very powerful.
I think what I love most about these types of circles is we don't have a lot of spaces where we can come and just be, you know. I remember it wasn't very like, you know, you got to do this or write this down, do this, you know, but organic, like sisterly
Mm-hmm.
love, you know, like a sister circle. I'm always happy to have spaces like that for us because a lot of times we then, you know, the therapy wasn't popular as popular, you know. Now therapy is a little popular, but even in that space, it's a different type of space when you come around sisterhood, when you come around other women, especially like-minded women, because if you hear, then you got some type of sense of
Mm-hmm.
awareness, some type of sense of, you know, I'm trying to do something for myself. And that's a powerful space to be in, especially, you know, around us that I love, and women in general, just having that type of safe space. So thank you for keeping those spaces. I also have another picture right here. What was
Oh,
going on here?
so this is last week, and this is like so exhilarating to me because I'm doing a lineage and legacy series, right? And so in this scene, what I did was what I wanted to know. So I'm doing lineage and legacy, and I wanted to know why people were in Chicago, right? Now, I'm fascinated about lineage and where you come from, and I always have been, right? But I wanted to bring it into a way where people can do it together, right? They can like find a little bit about their history and be very confident and proud of who they are, wherever they come from. And so this part of the circle was about people going on the board. It was like a map of the world. And like, I wanted to find out what brought you to Chicago. Most Black people from Chicago come from Mississippi or something along that lines, right? So that was really illustrated in this map. So we took a piece of tape and we went from Chicago, and then people drew the tape from wherever they could draw it back to. Some people went all the way back to their greats and were able to trace it, to Mississippi, or there was a family that had some Virginia roots. But that's what the person is doing at the board. They're putting their tape to mark that they're in Chicago now, but that they had journeyed from, I believe they were from the East Coast.
Okay, see, I didn't even know you was doing all of that, Mama.
It's very new, and I'm super, super excited about it. I'm super stoked. I love doing, my own personal, like, walk back. I say, I got to like my 7th, like verified womb to womb, my 7th great grandmother. Like, I have further than that, but like I need to do some digging. Yes. And what's so fascinating too is that with a little bit of tools and a little bit of knowledge, most people can get back to the first census quick. They don't know it, but this is a series that I'm doing to illustrate that, because few of those people that were in that room, they were really like, I'm not really sure. And I just asked a couple of questions. They went on their phone a little bit. One person called Auntie, and they were easily able to say exactly where they were from. So it's just interesting that we have this, it's kind of the intention is to say, we have this misnomer, like we don't know where we're from, but we really, really do. And we have a lot of roots here. And so the first series or event was around music, centered around music and how music ties into lineage and legacy. The next one would be dance. Then the next one would be root work, like the herbs and stuff that we use here in this part of the world. And then the last one would be Juneteenth. So I'm gonna have a Juneteenth, all-day Juneteenth celebration. I'm super, super excited. But yeah, I'm excited about this because I think it's nothing more healing than knowing where you're from.
And it's funny you say that, because you like, we know it. I'm like, girl, I don't know. I got to my great grandmama and I'm done.
But if you know your great grandmother, you know her great grandmother. Trust me, I can help you.
And that's like I said, this little interview got me like, and I'm gonna be calling you. I have been trying to find out, make a family tree, make a list of people that we do know, and it has been a little difficult. So I appreciate the fact that you're even doing it. We do have a list of your dates for your workshops. We have April 10th, April 8th for Waist Bead workshops,
free.
April 24th for lineage and legacy dance, May 22nd for the root work. Okay, maybe a little root work. June 5th for music workshops, and then, like you said, the all-day Juneteenth celebration. What's our all-day event about?
I'm pulling it together, child. I'm trying to do a parade, like Alderman, what's up? I'm trying to do it because I think it is so empowering, the Juneteenth day itself. You know what I mean? And it's one of the holidays that really does tie us to this soil, and how our ancestors really triumphed for each other. You know what I mean? When you consider that people came back, that was just the story, and we wrap it up in Juneteenth, but that was the story all around. We always went back. I mean, that's the story. That's the narrative. When you read the stories, people got free, and then they came back. That's mind-blowing to think that you would get free and come back. So Juneteenth is powerful. So it'll be a lot of art, but I actually have a team, the Tibet Task Force. They're coming to do an actual genealogy 101 class for 30 people. So once I get the registration out, we'll have 30 seats for you to sign up and be a part of that part of the class, that part of the day. It'll be like the highlight of the day, the class. It'll be like a 2-hour class where you'll actually get to sit down with actual certified genealogists and get help to get you back to where you want to be. But the whole day will be different arts. We're going to do some music, crafting. We're going to have some airbrush crafting. It's just going to be big fun. And it started as like a 2-hour workshop, like the rest of them are, from 6 to 8. Then I'm like, maybe I can add an hour in the beginning and an hour in the behalf, and then somebody threw in a parade, and I'm like, hey. So it's still kind of rolling, but I plan to pack the day with fun, creative things to do, and then like make a crest so you can like have some a art piece that kind of shares your history, your heritage. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And all of them are free. The waist bead workshops that are on the 10th and the 8th are also free. There's a limited amount of seats because I really want to, like I said, I was on a hiatus, and so I want to make sure that I'm fully ready to host, a group of women and do the waist beading, because like I said, it's so powerful. I usually like to collaborate because I just want to make sure that I'm creating a safe space. And when you're dealing with women in their womb and doing womb work, it's you really want to make sure that it's
What
a
does
safe,
womb work mean?
just the thing about it is, as much as you can kind of like put a theme to it, try to, like you said, put an agenda on it, it's going to be organic when you're talking about your womb. You know what I mean? And a woman can come in from this aspect of her womb wellness. She could be young. She could have no children. Another woman could be, just healing from a loss. You know what I mean?
Or four kids.
Or have 4 children, which is a different stage, right? Which is a
Yep.
different initiation of being a woman. So womb work is all the things that are stemming from what really centers a woman in her creative energy, or even just to herself. And what's so interesting about lineage and legacy and womb work is that one thing that Mama Sona taught me, one of your dearest friends, she taught me that I was in my grandmother's stomach. When she told me that, it was almost, it was just like, I was learning about, I think the discussion was about epigenetics.
So wait, just because people are watching, let's let them know what that means. So what you're saying is, as an infant in your mother's belly, but your mother actually carried you as an egg in your grandmother, because we're born with all the eggs we're gonna have as women. So that means that your mother carried your children because she carried the eggs, the embryos of those, well, not embryos, but the eggs of those, of your children, which is fascinating and amazing. So go ahead.
No, yeah, thanks for saying that, because that is kind of like a I said what? And it sounds like a little woo-woo, but it's actually the physical science behind it. And so when you think about epigenetics, they say, you can pass down trauma, and they do a lot of research in that. And for Black people, Black Americans, it's really kind of hard to narrow that down because the trauma never stopped. So there's no way to like, okay, draw the line, the trauma stopped, let's research it. No, we're still in the trauma, so it's hard to like track it, but it's there, and it's serious. But what made me, the first thing I thought, and Bruce Limpton is a big, he was the first person when I was researching about this epigenetic. If you can pass down hurt, you can pass down healing.
Asha.
And so that made me want to do, that made me even like inspire me even more with doing the waist beading, because I know from my own personal story and my own personal traumas, man, the
We got
womb.
we got a womb specialist on the line.
Come on,
She
Lotus.
said, it's the mitochondria, honey.
Honey, come
The
on.
mitochondria. Look, we might need to have Mama Lotus call in and talk about what the mitochondria is, honey. She put the honey on there. But no, that is definitely when Mama Sona said it to me too. I definitely was like, oh man, I was able to say it to my mama. And it does make you feel a little special too as a grandparent to know that you carried your grandbabies. And then, it's it makes a little bit more deeper connection, and it deepens the connection to the mother too when you understand those things. But we do have to play a quick commercial break. And after
Wonderful.
these messages,
We'll
we'll
be
be right.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection.
somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And welcome back. I was like, I need to make sure I'm not making some copywriting so after these messages. I don't know. I don't know if I can say that, but I love saying it. Let's see where we got Mama Lotus. Mama Lotus to pop back in. I'm enjoying Kenisha's magic that she does. Such a very
Oh,
magical, wise, and
so
resourceful
much.
woman. Indeed, you are. I feel like a lot of times we don't really take time to acknowledge all the things that we do. Um, I feel like when you're in the work, you kind of you just get used to being in go mode. You know, you get used to doing like we talked a little bit about medics, but we didn't really talk about medics. You know what I mean? It's so many other things that you do that you just look at it as a part of your life and just doing and being awesome and amazing that you don't even realize that you're doing things that most women don't do. A lot of women will never do, and some women that ain't never even gonna know about it. But just talking about medics a little bit, let's talk about your work with medics.
Yes. It's a very big part of my life, that's for sure. And I love being able to work in that way. It is an organization, a Black Health Collective, and we train people on how to be the best bystander they could be, basically. And that's from dealing with somebody who just got shot, which is very serious, to dealing with community care. And it seems like, common sense, but we really get into some tools and tips on how to actually do the best at taking care of each other. And I'm a member because I went to a workshop, I'm always trying to like educate myself and be a better community member. So I learned about this workshop. I think you were there too. And you might have been I've been trying to narrow down who actually told me. You might have been the person that told me, Rende. But me and Journey, our daughter, we went and I was looking forward to like learning about gunshot wound. And then they like went into this second thing, like, okay, now we're going to talk about asthma. And I'm like, okay, which was very unexpected, but very, very, very needed and very close to my family because we had lost someone. My daughter, Journey's best friend, Sydney Martin, passed away from asthma. We were very close with the family and we were very close to the situation also. And so from that moment, I knew that I had to give anything I could to this organization and make sure that could continue, that we could continue to like teach each other how to take care of each other. Because had I taken that workshop, or my family or our families had taken that workshop prior to Sydney Martin passing, I mean, she more than likely would still be here. And that's not to say that the family was not really well versed and educated about asthma. It's just something that for me, I wanted to make sure other families could continue to learn how to take care of each other. So we are doing a lot of work this summer. We have open workshops, but you can go to umedics.org and request a workshop and we will come to you. So whether it's in your living room, at your church, we will come to you to teach one of our modules. So please do reach out, umedics.org. Follow on all the social media is Umedics Shy. So it's a fantastic organization. We do a lot of heavy lifting. It's a very serious bit of work because as you can imagine, teaching us to take care of each other is a pretty powerful thing to do. So yes, thank you for throwing that up there because again, we're so deserving
Look,
of all that.
me also as a medics member. Okay.
Yes.
I definitely feel kind of the same way. I mean, if you living in Chicago or in any black community that may be, have a lot of violence, gunshots, and not just gunshots, but that's the one that kind of hit home for me. We all have our reasons why we connect with things or do things. And my thing was, I was driving down the street and I saw someone get shot, and everybody was moving around as normal, like lolly. Um, and it was like it was messed up because I also didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Of course, you call the police, but it was like, what do you do? You know, and when I heard about medics and I saw they were giving trainings on this, and I'm just like, I feel like any person living in a area where it may be some shooting going on, which could be downtown Chicago, okay?
That
Um,
part.
but just being able to have some type of um just preparedness, some readiness. Shoot, it might be you or your children, anybody it could happen to.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons why I became a part of medics, because I feel like that's something that we should definitely get out. I feel like everybody in our community should know at least how to do the first response for the gunshots, because what is it, if something like within an hour, if you don't get the treatment or something like that, then you are less likely to survive if somebody didn't
No,
leave.
you can literally bleed out in 5 minutes.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's very important.
It's
And
very important.
even
It's
just being a
very
part, and another reason why I became a part of the organization was because you can't learn it all in one in one class, but the introduction to it, having the knowledge about it, having
yes.
the awareness of it, just put you in a different type of ball game. So definitely anybody who's watching, reach out to you medics. If you have an organization, if you have a church, if you got a family and you get
Family.
all your cousins, your mom was, on your mama and your daddy's side, get everybody together, because that is some information that we definitely need to have in our communities. I see we got a few. Let me go here, because I'll be talking. Let me see what Mama Loda say. Okay, we got that one. She says, Kenisha's a
Oh,
healer, activist coach, as well
I
as she
love it.
to break down
Thank you. Thank you
around
so much.
healing the black body, mind, and spirit. And that is true.
Thank
A lot of
you.
times we think about, healing on so many different levels. Well, most of the time people think about sickness, but we got mind, people are sick in spirit. And it's a whole holistic thing to have to be able to, deal in that. Yes, Humedics is.
And I wanted to say, we also do community CPR workshops, but we also do certifications. So if your organization, or if you need certification, you need to, because you do have to do it every 2 years. So if you already did it with somebody else, holler at us in 2 years.
Yeah.
But you can get your CPR certification, which is really a big deal. And we can do that for families, and we can do it without the certification, and you still get the core skills of the work that, like you said. I've been a member since 2016. I took my first workshop in like 2015. And every time I learn something new. Every time. I mean, I pretty much learn something new anytime I'm like in a meeting, and which of course we meet a lot. But but the workshops itself, like, it's so
Now
powerful,
outside of the, because I know I'm just trying to make sure we got CPR, we got the gunshot first response, and I'm missing, it was one other.
We have birthing emergencies, or like birthing that we do with Southside Community Birthing Center. That's a collab. We have a seizure workshop that is we haven't really done it in a while because people don't really request it, but we do have it. The CPR, I'm missing something. We have a asthma workshop that's fully asthma. Some of these workshops,
it's crazy too, because I had a young person here. We do all types of youth programs at Mama Africa's, and one of our young people had a seizure, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So that's definitely, it's not as common as a lot of other things, but it's definitely needed, you know what I'm saying, in our community. And especially if you are a person who is prone to having seizures, make sure you get your people around you
That no.
have something so they can be aware and they know
See,
what to do. And then
right.
I was nervous. I'm like, they like turn the lights off, so I definitely wish that I had
You
even
have
took
this.
the
Yeah,
class. That
that's
was
good
not
that you
something I
said.
didn't know.
That's good that you say that, because again, it's one of the things that's a little less requested. But first, I wanted to say one thing real quick, because I'm not used to doing this. But I know that I'm supposed to have said, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me
Hold
and
on,
trusting me on your platform, and
we
for
just
all the work that Mama Africa has done over the years, holding the space down. I mean, I've done workshops in your space. I'm always sending people there. When people call me, they want waist beads like right now, and I'm usually like custom, and they're like, girl, I don't want to have no conversations. I want to get some waist beads right now. I'm always sending them to you. So this is what I know I should have said that in the very beginning. Like, thank you. How you doing today? You look beautiful. Thank you for having me. Forgot to say that
said it
part.
now.
Give my manners.
You said it now, so we good, Mama. Thank you. Look, you probably the first person to say thank you to me.
No.
But,
But
we
back to
do
the
have
seizures.
no. Hold on, we got one caller on the line. Want to make sure
Okay.
we get this caller. Caller last
Yes.
4 digits 4638. Are you on the call, caller? Okay, the caller dropped. That's okay.
Okay.
Want to make sure we at least
Call
got.
back.
It says, can we call you medics to assist us at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair?
Yes,
Yes,
you can.
you
Yes,
can.
you can. We do. We do. Now the first aid that we send out, like if you have an event and you want first aid people there, that's like a special thing that we really hold dear to us, because again, there are first aid groups out there, but there's not a lot of black led or black. And most times, if we have an event, we want our people to protect us, right? So yes, please do call us. Please, please, please do call us. We can. I don't know. I think the Soulful Fair is in the summer, so it's plenty of time for us to get there and do it. Please do call us.
Okay, we
Yes.
got Mama Lotus said, I did CPR certification, but I promise you no one else does it like you medics. Ashe. I was afraid to do CPR on someone, but out of the 12 years having to take CPR, you medics honestly gave me the confidence to know exactly what to do. I do feel like that too. I feel like you medics, the trainings be, more to us, make it feel more real, more relaxing. Y'all do the hands-on. We got the little
Yes.
people, you press down on everything.
We have
So
brown mannequins, and they don't look dusty either. They like nice color tone stuff.
I don't know. Mama Lotus put this on here to call in. I hope this ain't nothing crazy, Mama. Nah, she good. I'm posting it because I know she good people. What is we calling in for, Mama Lotus? What
So
is?
that's my number. I think she's saying.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yep. She just
Yep.
put in my number there. Yeah.
Oh,
But don't call me because I'm busy. Okay.
wait, why
I'm
she?
busy. I'm busy talking to Mama Africa. But call me later.
Don't put that woman stuff on the internet, Mama Lotus. Yeah. So just again, thank you for all you do in our community. I'm hoping to get some more waist bead circles started. Here at the shop at the space. I know you are also a part of the Shared Space Lab. What is that?
Yes. So on 45th and King Drive, Tony Anderson, a wonderful anchor in our community.
I love
wonderful
her.
Anchor. The space is beautiful, but they're offering a healer cohort. So different healers, right? Organizations or individuals are coming in and offering things to the community, so it's like a potpourri of healing that's happening at the Space Share Lab. There's a calendar that her Space Share Lab is her social media, so you could
And this is in the lab too, right? Is this our space? Okay.
Yep, yes, that's in the Space Share Lab space. And so I'm doing my I'm very grateful to be in the cohort, because again, I'm coming out of a kind of a hiatus, so it's just such a safe space. It's such a feel good space to be able to come in and do that type of work. So there's other people in the cohort. This was actually I do creative arts with children in different settings, and this was at the Chicago Homeschool Summit that happened over the weekend.
Oh, I messed that up.
Yes, it was. You know what? I really was trying to, be productive in my birthday week, and I kind of forgot to share some things. But it was a great turnout at the Chicago homeschool. That's another thing that I'm an advocate. Well, I'm actually an advocate of hybrid education. So I believe, some families homeschool, some families have great CPS schools in their neighborhood. Some families don't live in Illinois and don't have the type of leniency we do have in our laws. And then people who live in Illinois may not have the leniency because they have HB 2827 that they're trying to strip all of our homeschool rights. So please, down to HB 2827 because it's not good. But yeah, hybrid homeschooling is, hybrid education is something else I'd like to advocate for because, you can have two different children in your home and one of them is really just on another level. They want to be at home. They're learning at a different pace. I didn't hear you.
Now we got a caller on the line.
Oh, yes,
caller 8608. Are you on the line?
I am on the line. How y'all doing?
Peace and love. Can you hear Mama Kenisha?
I can hear Mama Kenisha. This is Mama Lotus. I'm calling.
I know that voice.
Okay.
Good morning.
I love the work that you do in the community, and you definitely just hit on something that I was actually working on this morning because I have returned back to homeschooling one of my children, and what you shared about the difference of knowing your children and what they need, that is so key.
Mm-hmm.
That is so key. And sometimes as a homeschooler or a person that we'll call hybrid or life schooler, sometimes I know it's difficult in the community because people, the first thing they say is, who's going to teach them kids? Mm-hmm. What about their social skills? How do you deal with or navigate through that kind of those kind of things?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy too because I've been saying like I would love to homeschool. The homeschooling networks. You gotta build a community kind of to get into it because it ain't something that you can just do by yourself either. To be totally honest, it's it takes a village, it takes a community. Now you can do it by yourself, but it's definitely better to do it with some support and some aid. And I know Mama Lotus, you homeschool your children for a while. What was that like for you?
So one of my kids wanted to be homeschooled, and that was the one that I did not homeschool because he actually did not need to be homeschooled. I was able to see that he needed, the world at large in a different way than the other one needed his world to be closer and smaller, and very intentional about just all around him and everything around it conforms to what it is that he needed. So it was definitely one where I knew that at the end of the day that I had to do that with him. And I created the world around us. And so there were classes that we did. We did the the core classes that, are required by whatever the state you live in. Mm-hmm. And then everything else I tailored around him. So as far as
the key thing you said too was what was needed. Because some kids need to be in school. Some people need to be, and some parents need not to be trying to homeschool their children because they don't have the capacity to do so, and their kids need more support than they are able to give. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that Mama Lotus about, assessing the need of the child and knowing if that's good for the child and if it's good for you as the parent. Now we do got about another 10 more minutes left. I don't want to take the shine off of Mama Kenisha right now. Did you have any other comments you wanted to make, Mama Lotus, before we got back to Mama Kenisha?
No, other than the fact that I love the work that sister does. I really met how she is an activist and will break down any and all things. She's a researcher. I don't know if she calls herself that, but she is. And when you come to her specifically around any of your Black embodiment needs, but when the thinking of what she does as far as wastewear is concerned, she gonna come with a solution for you. She gonna hear you out. She gonna feel you. She gonna offer her journey, her story, and she will offer her heart and compassion and grace to you. So I just want to say thank you for all of that work that you do, love.
Yep. And we appreciate you, Mama Kenisha. Like I said, I have definitely thank you, Mama Lotus. You
Thank you, Mama.
have definitely
Yes.
um definitely helped me through a lot. Definitely giving me some sense of comfort in certain situations. Now, let me tell y'all how awesome Mama Kenisha is. Now, I didn't file my LLC on time, and this is the second time I did it, and they charge you some fees. Mama Kenisha's like, look, I'm finna put your LLC date on my phone, and I'm gonna call you and let you know, pay that $75 so you ain't gotta pay $400, baby. But and that's also, just like touching back in with your coaching. It's natural for you to be coaching. I know you as a coach because you naturally do it anyway, as a sister, as a mother, as a community member. It's what we do. So the fact that you got certified in it, is awesome.
Thank you for saying that, because that's a big part of why I got certified. Like, I didn't want to be out of my scope. We teach about that in Humedics. You don't teach beyond your skill set. You know what I mean? And I felt like, I thought I had some skill set, a little bit of World University, but I wanted to have some anchorage and some tutelage, you know what I mean, on how to deal with and navigate, and even just have something behind me to kind of give me some breadth around teaching women. And in the note around caring for you, you pour into me so much. So it's just a pleasure to pour into you at any way at all. So that you answer my call, that we know each other, and we have built such a beautiful relationship. I mean, I was a little scared to have this, because I'm like, if this go anything like our calls, child, I don't know. But we kept it real cute. We kept it real cute. but I wanted to say that when I was thinking about the waist beading, and at first I was really just doing it from like just wanting to be a good community person, wanted to be a good sister. And I had been into some sister circles before, but I wanted to make it sure that we kept that focus on our womb and on women. And again, I wanted to be able to bring my child, my young daughter at the time. So that kind of, some sister circles get into, more adult conversations and stuff like that. And I had no control over that. So this was kind of me being a little bit of a control freak. But what I wanted to say, that I named it waistwear because I really believe that waist beads are a tool. I really believe that it's not just a tool for the person wearing them, but anybody who sees that woman with them on, especially her family, young babies, they get to see that mom is not just the do-all, the be-all, the chauffeur, the cook. She's this delicate flower. No matter how powerful she is and how much she does, she needs that visual. Like families, people need that visual of the differentiation about her. Like what makes this, what would trigger a young person to know, oh, mommy's different. Like, yeah, this used to be your house. You used to live here, but now it's mine. So when I talk to women, it's a hard thing for, especially a new mom, to like learn to, you have to teach the children that you have to respect me. You have to be kind to me too. You know what I mean? And that's, waist beads is kind of like an unspoken thing. It's also, I'm still am, but working with like therapists who work with couples, because it's also an intimacy tool, a consent tool, because a lot of times in couples, that's a topic. It's not that this one don't want it and that one don't want it. It's just the idea around how do we make sure that we both are in the same space together to want to go in that direction. And waist beads has been a tool for different families to do that. So he or one of them places the waist beads on the bed, or they put it on, and then it's like, okay, that's the signal, without talking about it. Because it's like, oh, what do you want to do? What's your schedule? We don't want that. We want to be, well, if you need that or you want that, let's do that too. But yeah, I really just think, but to your point, and this is more important than anything, which is it's a tool for you, because if nobody sees you wearing them, you're going to walk with a little bit more awareness. And that is healing to the world, when a woman walks with this awareness of just how powerful she really is.
Yeah.
So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mama. So we got about a few more minutes left. I don't want to go over our
Wow.
time, and I don't want to miss out. Is there anything that you would like to say that you haven't been able to say that you wanted to mention? I know you had a few things going on. We talked a lot about some of those things. Is there anything that we left out that you would like the people to know about Mama Kenisha?
Well, to talk about family a little bit, I think family is really, really important. It kind of goes to that idea around self-love being a misnomer, and so we have to, I think, deconstruct the idea around family a little bit more, because family is just so important. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that part about it, that I in addition, the self-love and having that in that.
Look, speaking of family,
look at my baby girl, my beautiful daughter, our beautiful daughter Sarah Jewel, and then my beloved friend Lucretia. She came to.
I didn't know it was Lucretia.
Yes, that is Lucretia. She popped out from my event, which again, I just am so full when people, come out and support me, but also support themselves, because, she's also interested in going back and further in her genealogy work and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to say to make sure that people knew that my events are free. So I do need you to register. I do need people to register. And the events are really family oriented. Now, initially I had put a price tag on it because I really wanted to illustrate that I wanted you to come in the family. So if it's not your family, like blood related, like let it be a friend, because it's a lot funner to do family oriented work, especially us, because we keep stuff to our chest. We are very private as a community, and so when you're talking about your family, it's like it's better to do it with somebody that you're a little bit more familiar with. So the events are organized in a way that they support families coming out. So I would love for you to bring your you want to go do something with your nieces and nephews, come and do something for free. You know what I mean? Right on 45th and King Drive in historic Bronzeville. Create some art. You'll have some takeaways, and you'll have a great time with your loved ones. So please, I think it's Bitly Legacy Workshop Chicago, but also you can go to the website Adorned with Awareness /events, and you can register. The waist beading workshop is a visionary waist beading workshop, so we're going to really talk about the energy that we're in currently, and it's hard to get into without getting into it, so I'm not going to get into it. But this energy in our world right now, on this side of the hemisphere, is visionary energy. So like when you're manifesting, there's certain energy portals that you're kind of in, and right now we're like in that portal where you're just visioning and seeing the outcomes. So we're going to really get into that with our waist beads. So I would love for you all to register and come out to the free waist bead
also it's free, but we also want to keep these things going. You got to pour into stuff so that it could be pouring back into us. We are about to close out. Just one quick 30 seconds of when you think about Mama Africa's Marketplace, what do you think about?
Oh, I think about beautiful clothing. I think about a hub, actually. I think about a hub of people being able to feel safe. I've been there many, many times, and one thing I know for sure is that when people are in there, they're in they step into a different world. I love that you have authentic pieces from all over the world, especially the healing things that you use, and practitioners can come somewhere local to get the things that they need to take care of their rituals, take care of their self, take care of their beauty, take care of and then you support so many different small businesses. Thank you, Sona. I love you too so much, Sona. You just don't know. But yes, Mama Africa's is a beautiful place that you can come and you're going to be supported. You're going to have tools there for you. You're going to have beautiful people and beautiful souls that will take care of you. And I love that you always are supporting so many different businesses. So if you are a business and you need a place to kind of showcase some of your stuff, talk to Mama Africa. You might be able to have some shelf space.
All right. Peace and love. We also got to get some of those waist beads in the show, but we are out of here, out of time. Thank you guys. And we will see you next week, every Thursday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. with Mama Africa's Market House. Peace and love.
Peace.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, Kamsamnida. Russia, Spasiba. Germany, Danke. Poland, Dziękuję. France, Merci. Spain, Gracias. Italy, Grazie. Egypt, Shukran. Ghana, Madasi. Nigeria, Eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareth. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.